here's the little thing I've learned over the years. One of the best ways to find bad thinking in your life is to start with bad feelings in your life. Because your thoughts are producing your feelings. Get that, right? Your feelings don't produce your thoughts are producing your feelings. So let's say, for example, I find myself one day I'm feeling, let's say anxious or afraid. Just use this as an illustration. I said, my goodness, why am I feeling so anxious right now? What am I worried about? I said, it goes back to that. I've been thinking about this, and that thought is what's making me feel. And so I inspect and find there's this thought that's going on in my head because of something that I read or something I had a conversation with someone, or I just happened to be thinking about something, and this thought got lodged in my head that was a thought that is anxiety producing, let's say, or fear producing. So now I've identified it. I've inspected it and said, that doesn't deserve to be in my thinking because it's creating something in me that shouldn't be there. Would you agree with me that it's a whole lot better to be at peace than to be in a place of worry and fear? The Bible says God didn't give us a spirit of fear. So if I've got fear, then something needs to be fixed, okay? I need to fix my thoughts, okay? And so now that I've inspected it, I've identified that I've got a problem with that thought pattern or that thought process. And it's vital to do this. Now, the psalmist talked about this in Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path of everlasting life. So part of what the psalmist is praying for is that God would point out, help him to see any kind of thoughts that are creating problems in his life. So God wants to help you with your thinking, but you have to do some inspection. And I would also add to this, when it comes to inspecting your thoughts, inspect what you're taking into your life as well. Inspect what you're watching on television. Inspect the movies you're watching. If they're creating thoughts that you shouldn't have in your head, then just stop it. If every time you watch the news, you end up angry, stop watching the news. Okay? You know, people can live without watching the news. Did you know that? People can actually survive without knowing the news every 5 minutes. There was a time that we never had a 24/7 news cycle, okay? And so you can live without stuff like that. If every time you open up your social media, you get jealous of somebody, cancel, just delete all your pages, okay? Get rid of them, okay? Do whatever you got to do. If that's causing a problem for you and it's creating thoughts for you that aren't healthy for you, then do something about it. But inspect, know where this stuff is coming from in your life and be aware of it.